Hello everyone, Philly Crypto Trading Plus here to talk about Litecoin today. Quick little analysis. Hey, for the new folks, hey, if you're confused by all this volatility, you can't make any rhyme or reason with these volatile prices up and down, well, you're definitely in the right place, okay? So what we're going to cover today is the Fibonacci extensions. We're going to talk a bit about that. We're going to cover two different ascending channels that I believe is happening. We're also going to cover a rising wedge, which I also think is forming. And we're going to talk about a double bottom and even a neckline support that we think has even been broken. So with that in mind, guys, make sure that you stick around to the end because we're going to give upper price targets because you always want to know where things are going to go, not where they're at now, where they're going, because that's what prediction is all about, right? So with that in mind, guys, we'll get right into it. Now, before I get into the video, please be sure and leave a comment below saying I subscribed and I'll personally reply to your comments, okay? Also, leave a thumbs up because it makes a huge difference, as you know, about the algorithms, and it helps out the channel. Because remember, guys, I'm here for you, and this is what I do. After all, remember, I do have to feed my, my pet rocks. So with that in mind, let's get right to it. Now, what we're looking at is a daily time frame. And notice here the parameters of this larger ascending channel that I have drawn for you. And we seem to be forming the nice parameter. Look at it here. So we came up here, right? We came back down. Notice that we came to the 0.382 fib, which is at maybe about 208, 209, give or take. Now, we certainly slammed down to the 185, but really, we formed a nice support here. And I say support because upon any pullbacks, we'll be looking at this as a good support, always. And I say pullbacks or sell-offs, if you know what I mean. So now we went ahead, we ran up, and we got some new highs. 234.81 is our 0.786 Fibonacci. So we got through that, but notice how we touched the top of that parallel channel, the ascending channel, right? Boom, boom, 3 times, right? Came back down each time, and look what we did. We hit the middle of this other parallel channel that I've drawn for you, because this is on a shorter time frame, of course, but we seem to be playing out and hitting the middle of that channel. It seems to be playing out. So we use these levels here to be able to draw from here to there, and we draw this different, parallel channel. So again, we're hitting the parameter right in the middle, which is kind of predictable. So the shorter term, are we going to continue up and touch the upper parameters of this other parallel channel? Well, that remains to be seen, because remember, guys, each day is a chapter story. This is why we watch. But remember, in our last video, we talked about the 248, 250 area. And of course, when we talked about it, we were down here, right, in this area. Well, apparently it's starting to play out and formulate the way that I've said. After all, that is why you're here, to get some clarity about what is going on and where we could be going to next. So it seems that this is playing out nicely. Now we want to see if we can bust up through this channel and continue on to the upper levels. But we're getting pretty darn close, guys. We're at, look at this right here, guys. We're at 239.5. We've already been at 243 today. Pretty darn close. So playing out nicely. I like that. Now, as far as the fibs are concerned, again, 248.53, that's our next target, but we're really looking for a little more, because if you look at this particular channel, the smaller channel that I drew for you, if this thing gets up there, we may come back down. But first of all, we have to get through the channel, right? We get up there to the top, come back down. This is always going to be a decent support for us, guys, in the middle of this channel, right? And obviously, with any pullbacks or selling, this is a great support here. So 208.382, 216, we've talked about the 216.5, 217. That's the 0.5 fib. We already established and talked about in the last video how this is a good support on any sell-off or pullbacks. Now, the reason I say this, guys, because you always have to keep in mind both scenarios. You always have to be ready. And I told you that we're going to be doing a video on trading in the future. But for clarity right now and simplicity, always, as a trader, 3 to 7% tolerance on any trade that you put in. You're going to be wanting to raise your stops as the price rises. That way you're always protecting yourself from any pullback. There's nothing wrong with running up 15% and having it pull back 4% and you make 11% of the trade. Who cares? You made some money, you move on, you get to the next stop. So we're just giving you levels of where we may stop at upon pullbacks, right? But for right now, we're forming a nice little tight range, and that's what we're after. So again, remember, we talked about these upper ranges. Now this yellow line here, this is a trend line that's been playing out for some time now. I could go back and show you the trend line there. You know what I mean? This is where it started from. So we're continuing. Now we may just rise on up to that trend line. We don't know yet. Remember, guys, each day is a chapter to the story, and this is why we watch. So we're going to be looking for that upper trend line. That seems to be an important trend line as well. So notice how all these levels were converging anywhere in this area here to look for upper movements, and then we're going to see when we pull back, where do we pull back to. We've talked about those levels. Now, I want to get into the shorter time frame and talk about that. Here's the parallel channel that we seem to be running along. Notice here, look at this. This, first of all, was a resistance, right? Then we got through it. Boom. Then we ran through that, and then we started at the top of that channel. Now we come back and form a support here. Hit the middle of that channel. Boom. Another support there, right? And then we hit the top of the channel, pull back to the halfway point, and then ran on up nicely, which means at that point, we were a bit overextended. We got out of our channel. And sure enough, like cyclicals, like fundamentals and technical analysis, that's what we're here for. This is what I'm here to teach you, is we come back to the bottom of the channel again and form a nice support there. Then we go back up, another touch at the top of the channel, right? Back again, nice support. And we run up and up through the channel, back to the middle of the channel, and back up. Now, so what I want you to notice here is how when we run out of the channels, we get a little overextended, we got to come back, right? So we did this again, came back halfway part of the channel. That was a good sign right there that we're probably going to move higher. And we talked about this. We're going to get into that in a second. So we come up and we touch, and now we're through this channel again. But what I wanted to point out, guys, and of course this is on a 4-hour time frame. Notice this, what I believe is a wedge that's now forming, okay? Because if you notice here, we continued along this channel, but all of a sudden, look what happened here. So we changed that angle, right? See this line here? And now we have what's probably forming as a wedge, which is pretty darn nice. Because we talked about this before, guys. We talked when this was in the 180s, I think, something like that. And we talked about a rising wedge. Then, if you don't know about it, and you want to know more about it, go back, watch the last videos. Very informative, very helpful, very valuable. Again, this is for you guys. So, with the rising wedge and seeing how history continues to prove what I'm saying, we have this rising wedge. And if history shows consistency, we should be able to maybe come back with any pullback, touch the top of this wedge, or say the bottom of the wedge, and then boom, and then, because we've had 3 touches on the top, 2 on the bottom. Maybe we get another touch, then we run up, and then we get on through that, right? Well, why do I say this? Well, let's take a look at this. We talked about the 4-hour time frame last time. We talked about the double bottom that I thought was forming. Boom, 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 boom. And we talked about the neckline. When we talked about it, look what happened. We ran through the neckline, and then we pulled back, and what did we do? We stopped right at the neckline that I drew. Is this an accident? I don't think so. So now we've moved up. We've gone through even that high now, right? Which suggests behavior of upper prices, right? So that's why we go back to what we talked about with this 248.53 as a next direct target. Notice it's really the points of that rising wedge. So we would like to see from here, boom, 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 and just tighten up and just bust through that, right? Now, if we were to do so, where would we go? I don't know. Maybe this upper 1 Fibonacci extension that we talked about before. This one is about 288, because remember, this changes a little bit as the days go by, guys. So right now, this is showing 288, okay? Keep in mind the all-time high is 375. Did I just say that? Yes, but I don't like getting ahead of myself. So for right now, this is where we're at, and we're going to 288. Probably going to work our way towards that. But remember, right now, our immediate target is this 248.53. And by the way, with the last videos, if you go back and look a couple videos ago, when we were in the 200s and I was talking about that, I put in right away in the comments, if people bother to read them, you should, because they're valuable and informative at times. And again, they're to help you. I put in right then that the next immediate target was 231. And of course, we ended up hitting that, and then we pulled back a bit from that. So again, guys, 248.53, next immediate target. That's what we're looking for. Looking for a little play here, tighten up, and then bust through that. If we bust through that, 288 is our next target. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. And I want to just add real quickly, guys, this channel is for you. Okay? So what I want to hear from you right now is I've noticed a lot of response on the Litecoin and the Zcash videos. So I'm here to accommodate you. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is please comment in there what coin would you like me to analyze? And then we're going to take a synopsis of everybody. We're going to put it all together and figure out what the most people would like to hear or see. Okay. So again, I'm here for you guys. Put that in the bottom of the comments, and we'll get a consensus, and we'll try to accommodate you. I am going to be doing Dash. Some people have talked about that. I've heard about Bitbox. I still am going to get to that. We've still got some technical. A basic video on that. We're going to get to all these things, guys, but hey, I'm a one-man show. I can only do so much. So with that in mind, guys, make sure if you want to, obviously like, share, subscribe if you like what you hear and you see. But if you want to learn more, watch this next video.